The Christmas we know today could be completely different if not for a strategic decision made by Constantine, the first Christian emperor of Rome. But what truly motivated this choice? For centuries, the Roman Empire worshipped its pagan gods, celebrating festivals that marked the cycles of nature and the power of its rulers. But in the early 4th century, one man changed the course of history by aligning his political ambitions with a new faith that was just beginning to emerge. It wasn't just a conversion, it was a revolution. Think about it. The Christmas you celebrate today, filled with spiritual meaning and family traditions, was shaped by a decision that blended religion, power, and culture. How did Constantine manage to turn a holiday into a powerful tool for unity and control? What led Rome's first Christian emperor to choose December 25th as the date to mark Christ's birth? Was it truly for spiritual reasons? Or was something far more strategic at play? In today's video, we'll delve into how Constantine used his political genius to Christianize an empire and why this decision forever changed the course of history. Uncover the mysteries behind the establishment of a date that, until then, was deeply tied to pagan festivals like Sol Invictus. Throughout this video, you'll see how Christmas was far more than just a religious holiday. It was a masterful maneuver that solidified Christianity as the foundation of the world's greatest empire. And by the end, you'll understand how this decision still echoes in our celebrations today. If you, like me, are fascinated by these hidden chapters of history, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. This way, you help us bring more stories that shape the world. Now let's uncover how Constantine shaped Christmas. By the early 4th century, the Roman Empire was a fractured realm teetering on the brink of collapse. Internally, political chaos had taken root, with usurpers and warring factions vying for dominance. Externally, relentless barbarian invasions pressed against the empire's borders, threatening its very survival. Amid this turmoil, a question loomed large. How could Rome find stability in an increasingly unstable world? The answer, for Constantine, lay in a unifying force that transcended politics and could touch the hearts and minds of his subjects. Christianity, though still largely underground, was growing in strength and numbers, fueled by a promise of salvation and equality that appealed to Rome's oppressed classes. Its stark contrast with the polytheistic traditions of Rome presented a unique opportunity and a monumental challenge. Constantine, a shrewd and pragmatic leader, saw this nascent faith not just as a spiritual movement, but as a potential solution to the empire's division. But to wield it effectively, he needed to reconcile it with centuries of deeply rooted pagan traditions. The old Roman gods, tied to state rituals and public life, were losing their hold on the populace. Pagan festivals remained popular, but their significance was waning. Constantine recognized the need to bridge the gap between the old and the new, crafting a synthesis that could unify Rome's diverse communities. This was not merely a matter of faith. It was a calculated move to solidify his authority and project an image of divine favor. As he ascended to power, Constantine's embrace of Christianity marked a turning point for the empire. His vision went beyond converting individuals. He sought to reframe the identity of Rome itself. Yet this vision required careful maneuvering. How could he align a faith rooted in monotheism with the polytheistic culture of his empire? This challenge brought Constantine to a pivotal realization. The solution lay not in opposition, but in adaptation. By reimagining existing traditions and symbols, he could achieve the unity he so desperately sought. This strategy would soon take shape in his approach to the festival of Sol Invictus, a cornerstone of Roman culture that offered the perfect vehicle for his ambitions. At the heart of Roman religious life was the Sol Invictus, or the Unconquered Sunday. This festival, held on December 25th, celebrated the sun's triumph over the darkness of winter, symbolizing renewal and hope. Its widespread appeal made it a central fixture of the Roman calendar, transcending social classes and uniting the empire in celebration. For Constantine, it presented an unparalleled opportunity to merge Christian ideals with a beloved pagan tradition. The symbolism of the Sol Invictus aligned seamlessly with the Christian narrative. Just as the sun heralded the promise of longer days and renewed life, the birth of Christ signified the arrival of spiritual light in a world shrouded in sin. Constantine's genius lay in his ability to see these parallels and use them to craft a shared cultural identity. By designating December 25th as the official date of Christ's birth, he superimposed a Christian meaning onto a pagan celebration, fostering inclusivity without erasing tradition. This move was not without controversy. Early Christians were divided on the appropriateness of such syncretism, fearing it diluted the purity of their faith. Yet Constantine, ever the diplomat, navigated these waters with precision. His aim was not to appease purists, but to secure the broader allegiance of his subjects. In doing so, he demonstrated a profound understanding of the power of symbols and their ability to shape collective consciousness. The emperor's actions extended beyond mere calendar changes. He commissioned artworks and public monuments blending Christian and pagan iconography, subtly reinforcing the narrative of a seamless transition. Coins bore the image of Sol Invictus alongside Christian symbols, blurring the lines between the old order and the new. This was not simply a theological statement. It was a masterstroke of propaganda. Constantine's strategy worked. The new date for Christmas gained acceptance over time, solidifying its place in the Christian liturgical calendar. But was this move driven solely by a desire for religious harmony, or did it mask deeper political ambitions? As the lines between faith and governance blurred, the emperor's motives became increasingly complex. With the foundation laid for a unified empire, one question remained. How did Constantine reconcile his personal faith with the political machinations that defined his rule? To explore this, we must turn to the man himself and examine the intricate interplay between his beliefs and his vision for Rome. Behind the towering figure of Constantine the Great lay a man whose personal convictions often blurred with his political ambitions. His conversion to Christianity is one of history's most debated moments, laden with complexity and intrigue. Was it a genuine act of faith or a calculated maneuver to consolidate power? The story begins with an event that would become central to Constantine's identity: the vision of the cross before the Battle of the Milvian Bridge in 312 CE. According to legend, Constantine experienced a divine revelation on the eve of the battle. He saw a cross in the sky accompanied by the words, "In this sign, conquer." Interpreting this as a message from the Christian God, he ordered his soldiers to paint the Chi symbol on their shields. His subsequent victory marked a turning point, both for the emperor and for the fate of Christianity in the Roman Empire. But this vision, while pivotal, raises questions about Constantine's intentions. Did he truly believe, or was this a pragmatic choice to secure favor with the growing Christian population? At court, Constantine navigated a delicate balance between two worlds. On one side were his Christian advisors, urging him to fully embrace their faith and sever ties with pagan practices. On the other were traditional Roman elites, who viewed Christianity with suspicion and clung to the empire's ancestral gods. Constantine's ability to mediate between these factions showcased his political acumen. Yet, his actions often left room for interpretation, such as his continued use of pagan symbols and state rituals even as he promoted Christian ideals. Adding to the ambiguity were Constantine's legislative reforms. While he enacted laws to benefit Christians, such as granting them privileges and protecting their places of worship, he stopped short of outlawing paganism outright. Instead, he wove Christianity into the fabric of the empire without alienating the old guard. This dual approach suggests a leader who saw faith not just as a spiritual truth, but as a unifying tool for governance. The question of Constantine's true motivations lingers. Did he adopt Christianity as a personal conviction, or was it a means to an end, a way to consolidate his rule and strengthen the empire? To understand the full scope of his influence, we must look at the cultural and religious shifts his decisions triggered. None more transformative than the establishment of December 25th as a cornerstone of Christian celebration. Constantine's decision to christen December 25th as the official date for Christ's birth was not merely a calendar adjustment. It was a cultural re-engineering of the Roman Empire. By aligning this Christian holy day with the deeply ingrained traditions of the Sol Invictus, he ensured a smoother transition from paganism to Christianity. This move did more than solidify the status of Christmas. It marked the beginning of a seismic shift in the empire's identity. Under Constantine's reign, Christianity evolved from a persecuted sect to the dominant faith of the empire. The emperor's endorsement of December 25th provided a focal point for Christian worship while dismantling the societal dominance of pagan festivals. Over time, this date became imbued with new meaning, reflecting values of unity, renewal, and divine grace, principles Constantine sought to propagate throughout his empire. However, this transformation was not without resistance. Pagan traditions, though weakened, did not vanish overnight. The melding of Christian and pagan customs sparked debates within the church and fueled tensions among the populace. Despite this, Constantine's reforms endured, reshaping Rome's religious landscape and setting a precedent for future emperors to institutionalize Christianity further. Beyond its religious significance, the Christmas celebration became a potent symbol of Constantine's broader vision. The fusion of faith and governance reflected his belief in the power of shared rituals to bind a fractured empire. Through this lens, Christmas was more than a religious holiday. It was a statement of imperial authority and cultural identity. Yet, Constantine's legacy is far from unblemished. Critics argue that his blending of sacred and secular motives diluted the spiritual purity of Christianity, leaving behind a faith interwoven with politics and power. Was this inevitable, given the context of his time? Or could Christianity have risen to prominence without the compromises Constantine imposed? As we examine the far-reaching impact of his decisions, one question remains. Did Constantine's vision pave the way for the enduring legacy of Christianity? Or did it sow the seeds of challenges that would later test the Church's unity and authority?